welcome back to the Sims resource. Today we're going to be doing a beach house build. So I actually haven't tried to build in the world from Island Living, the world from Island Living, in a really long time. I think probably since the pack came out, and that was like years ago. So I wanted to try and give it a shot, and this is my attempt. First of all, it's really funny that until you add the stilted foundation, you actually just look like you're building a regular house with foundation into the water, and I just love the visuals of that. But also, I made this house way too big when I first started it. I was intending for it to be like a vacation rental property, and obviously those can be big, but when I initially put it down, I was like, this is huge. So I went back and redid it, and then I think I kept this shape that we're looking at right now. And then from there, I just went into adding doors. I actually did a lot of filtering on this project because I wanted to use a lot of the things that came with Island Living, because you don't really get an opportunity to use them in most of my regular builds, just because they don't really fit in the other worlds the way they do fit in this one. So I was really just going for what felt right. So here I am just dividing up the space. The floor plan took me a little bit of time because I don't know, I wasn't really sure how to divide the space. I wanted to make it a 2-bedroom, and then it just looked really funny. Especially because I wanted to have lots of windows and like lots of views out into the water, because that's kind of the point of a property like this. So I was like, all right. And then I essentially just kind of made it into the 2 fancy boxes it was originally meant to look like. So sometimes simplicity is good, is a lesson I learned. So here I am just adding in some windows. A lot of them kind of got moved around as I started placing furniture, but I like to place them in advance just so I can kind of get a feel for where they might be, and also because I just like to have some light in the build so I can see what I'm doing. I ended up adding the kitchen right near the entrance. I guess I normally wouldn't do this, but I don't know. By the time it was done, it kind of reminded me of a lot of vacation rental homes in real life, that you can just kind of like, you enter and like everything is kind of right there because it's not a huge space. And this is only a 1-bedroom, so it's not like a huge space with like kitchen and dining and all these other things. So I added in, I really like the counters from this pack and the islands too. But I had to go looking for the shelving that came with it, because yeah, it actually came with a bunch of open shelving. It was partially closed shelving, but yeah, instead of cabinets, it came with shelving. So I had to go looking for that, and then I added that in because I also never get to use it. And then I was just kind of trying to figure out the rough layout for this living area. The way I set up the kitchen, it just was really hard for me to fit everything I wanted to fit in this room. I'm sure there's probably a smarter way to do it, but I really wanted these huge windows and these I just wanted all this glass. I'm sure in real life, all this glass right on the water would be a really dangerous situation if any kind of storm rolled through, but this is The Sims, so I think it'll be alright. They're probably more in danger of dying by a Murphy bed than they are storms in the game. So here I am just trying to figure out where I want my TV, where I want my couch. I went with the CC couch, and it's really cool, like wooden rail. I don't actually know how to, slat design. And it was just very different than what I'd seen. And yeah, pretty much everything in this build is this kind of like light tan color of wood. I wasn't sure at first. I also was thinking about adding some tile underneath the kitchen, but the bar stools would be on it and looked kind of funny in shape, so I ended up not doing that. I did actually add a dining table, which is, for me, kind of rare. Sims will kind of sit wherever to eat. They're not very picky, and honestly, a lot of the time my Sims will sit anywhere but the dining table when I have one, so I sort of was just like, well, there's no point in me giving them one. But in this build it kind of made sense, especially if this is the rental property where it's like, oh, you want to be able to make dinner, you're renting a property with a kitchen, that's the whole point. So yeah, that's why I added something, and also because it's just nice to use all the pretty dining chairs that have come with all the packs over the years. And then here I'm just adding some plants. I honestly think I went a little overboard with the plants in this build, but it just kind of felt right. Like, it's a very like beachy tropical world. You know, I just figured plants would be very happy, especially with all the glass in this room. Like, those plants would be really happy. They'd get all the sun ever. So I added those in. And then I painted the walls just white, with a little bit of, like, texture. Not like popcorn walls, but, you know, just, they look like they've been painted. And yeah, I was just kind of going around looking for things to hang on the walls to decorate it a little bit. This actually took me longer than you'd think, because I was trying to find things that fit, like, a specific island theme. And it took me a while because most of the stuff I build is very suburban or like community lot, and this is not that, so in the future, I'm probably gonna have to look for more beachy CC or anything that I build out of my comfort zone. I probably should go looking for more CC, but I did find this really cool wood hanging. Kind of tied the room together, so I put that over the TV. And I ended up adding a bookshelf right next to the kitchen cabinets. I think it kind of felt like a built-in, which was nice. And I think it also just added a level of, I don't know, it just gave something else to do in this rental home because, you know, if you're trying to build skills with your Sims, it's really annoying if you're trying to build skills and it's like, well, there's nothing here for me to, like, do. And with the bookshelf, you can technically train any skill, though your Sim may get bored faster. I'm not actually sure if there's any kind of skill difference in the rate at which a Sim gains skill points, or skill percentage, I guess, while reading versus actually doing the task. I'd be interested to know that, but from what I know, I think it's the same. So sometimes I just have them read because it's easier. Here's this bedroom. I'm using an island living bed because, again, I got really excited to use everything in this pack. It's very summery, and I'm in a summery mood right now. Now I'm just looking for wall hangings. Ended up putting up this one because I think it just brought the vibe. It fit the room, it fit the vibe. This room has so many windows, which I just love. I really enjoy the vibes of it. I looked at different like comforter colors, but I was having trouble, I think, finding any of the colorful ones. And plus the white ones just felt more like a rental property or like a hotel, you know, because they always have all white sheets. So I just went with the plain white, though I guess if this were a house, I'd probably look harder and find a very colorful one and tie the room around it, because I feel like having a colorful comforter is really fun. But I also have animals, and, you know, sometimes they make a mess of my bed, so I don't really feel comfortable having a white comforter regardless, because they would absolutely just, like, walk all over it and make a mess. So maybe I'm not in the white comforter gang. Here I'm just adding this bathroom. It is pretty simple. I got to use, again, more of the island living stuff, and I also put a outdoor shower on the deck. I was gonna say patio, but this is a deck for sure. I also moved the little towel rack into the bedroom, or out of the bedroom into the bathroom, and I put a hanging storage area for clothes, because I figure if you're traveling, you don't really need like a full dresser, but I wanted to have something that they could use. And here I'm sitting on the deck. I really thought that putting this ladder in like the middle would just create a hole, and it didn't. So that was fun. And I had this boat, and I thought it would automatically dock, and it didn't. So I think as long as it's close enough to that, it basically is docked to your lot. So that's fun. And then I kind of went about trying to figure out the layout of this space. It's really big, honestly. And I wanted to put up this big, like, not this big, this little half wall. She put like a grill up against. But then it felt like it was blocking that nice view to the water, and I was like, well, that doesn't feel right. So eventually, yeah, I just settled for some lounge chairs. I made it more informal than it was originally. You'd honestly be shocked at how long this took me. I was really, like, stressing about this deck area, because they're watching at about 500% speed. This is, yeah. See, what I actually just did is made it smaller, because I was like, I don't know what to do with the space, and I really wanted that clear view from the bedroom, and so getting rid of the deck in that realm was the easiest way to do that. And plus there's more space to swim. I think ended up putting, yep, just a smaller grill out up against things. And I figured, like, you know, Sims will eat wherever. They can eat inside if they really need to, but they also added this little outdoor dining table. And now I'm just going to add a roof. There's one tile of the house that just doesn't have a ceiling, so that was fun, but I think it appeared again once I had the roof. I went with an A-frame. I went with an A-frame because that is very traditional for a lot of island homes. And yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the colors that I wanted, and then also like the wall, I guess, coating the wallpaper I wanted for the exterior. I guess siding is the word. It took me a little bit because there's a couple options and I liked a lot of them, but then I didn't want to change the entire color scheme of the like wood I already put down in the house, so it was a little bit of a struggle. But we ultimately got there. I mean, honestly, just look at this world. Like, I could build a really sad little hut and I think it would still, like, look incredible because this world is so pretty. So, I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Here I am, changing everything back, I think, because I was just like, well, I like this pattern and it fits the wood tone I already chose. And then I added these little windows to the upper levels of the A-frames. And then they revealed that there's actually a room up there, which I thought was funny. I guess if I ever want to expand this build, there's a room up there. And I added flooring so that it didn't look silly. And here I am just adding some plants. I ended up sticking a lot of them just under the silt foundation, which is a little hard. You have to be really careful because otherwise it'll just jump up to foundation height, but I think it just adds a little bit of character, makes the house look like it's been there for a while, and I imagine that these plants are some kind of aquatic plants, so, you know, there's that. Alright, here's some screenshots, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye!